Well, Randy Arozarena did not win the home run derby, but he put on a show nonetheless.
I think all Rays fans are happy about his performance. So let's talk about that and what we can expect from this All-Star game tonight, starting right now.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we're the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Be sure to check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays. We're also on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Rays, and you can email us anytime, lockedonrays@gmail.com. We plan to have one or more mailbag episodes this week, so get those questions, comments, concerns, hot takes in. All right, so the home run derby was last night, and Randy Arozarena, like I mentioned, put on a show, definitely endeared himself to the 45, 50,000 people that were in attendance, and the millions, I assume, watching on TV as well. And he did have, at the end of the day, the most home runs total in the event, but did not win the event, fell in the final round to Vladdy Guerrero Jr., whoever that is.
Yeah, no, it was impressive what he did. And it started off from the get-go, from round one. We had talked about it on Monday's episode that his path was clear as long as he got through Ulises. I didn't think that he would have any problem in the semifinals or in the finals. He was just shy in the finals, but I think honestly, you couldn't have asked for a better performance out of Randy. I mean, he really took on the show. I think he was more of I think people might remember more Randy Arozarena from this home run derby than Vladdy. Because of his, his antics and the camera and the boots and the pose. Hey, even at the end, Vladdy did Randy's pose in front of Randy. So that was a cool moment. I think it was fantastic for Rays Nation to see Randy kind of elevate the organization to that level. Again,
when the lights are brightest, Randy steps up, and he loves the spotlight. He loves the attention, and that's a good thing when you're talking about a team making hopefully a deep playoff run and hopefully going to the World Series. He is not going to be a guy that shies away from it. He's going to want to get closer to that. So there were a lot of cool nuggets from that home run derby. And like you mentioned, despite Vladdy winning the whole thing, I've heard this from other people. It's oftentimes or sometimes that it's the person or persons that don't win it that steal the show. And that might have been the case with Randy and Julio Rodriguez, obviously the hometown kid, or, the Mariners kid, if you will. So it was really cool to see the relationship between Randy and Ulises before the event, and saw a little highlight or clip of Randy and Wander talking back and forth. So that's good. Hopefully they're on the same page now, or getting closer to that page.
You saw that when Wander hit a home run during the weekend series with the Braves, them celebrating, and then you saw that multiple times yesterday. So I think that whatever was going on between them, I think they've put it behind us, put it behind them. So that means that Rays fandom can put it behind us, and just hopefully that's done. I mean, which is great. This is fantastic. This is all we were asking for, is, hey, just be civil. Like, you don't have to be best friends, but it does look like, Franco was celebrating with him, and he was right there next to McClanahan. This is when I really hope Shane was catching on some Spanish Duolingo lessons, because when Randy would get a timeout, he was looking like the odd man out with everybody that was coming up to talk to Randy. Shane looked like the guy was like, okay, I gotta, ears up, man. So that was probably really fun.
Zach Eflin is on Babbel, so Shane, I think you need to get on Duolingo or Rosetta Stone, whatever it may be. Hey, maybe that should be incorporated into the contracts of, for lack of a better word, gringos, that, hey, if you learn Spanish, we'll give you an additional $25, $50, $100,000, or give you some sort of bonus or stipend or something, because I think that is absolutely important and imperative just for the communication aspect and the belonging aspect of things.
Yeah, I didn't know this until, I think the Astros went to the World Series or whatever it was, or one of the many ALCSs, but Alex Bregman is completely fluid in Spanish. Like completely, like you wouldn't know that, and he said he just wanted to do that because he wanted to actually understand and be culturally aware from his teammates and play better with them and have a better relationship. I thought it was like that was really cool, because when it happened, Alex Bregman was a young kid. He was like 21, 22, to have that self-awareness, to have
the foresight.
That foresight. Yeah, exactly. To say, hey, this is going to benefit me and my team, and I want me and my team to do well. So,
I mean, on average, not to go on a tangent here, but the average MLB team, it's got to be at least half Spanish-speaking players, give or take.
That's actually, what is the percentage of Spanish-speaking players in MLB?
Yeah, that's a good question. Somebody has to have that or know
rough
that.
math. How many players are there? 700-ish?
Yeah.
Right? So if you're talking 700 and there's about 80 Dominicans, 60 Venezuelans, then that's 140 plus like 20 Cubans, that's 160, 10 Mexicans is, 160, 170. So you're talking maybe like 190, maybe. Yeah. So 190 divided by 700 would be.
And we're talking about the average. We're talking about the average roster, not the Phillies, who it's just white dudes basically.
yeah.
Their entire infield, outfield, and most of their pitching staff, white dudes, straight up.
I think, maybe let's say, just to round it up, maybe a quarter Spanish speaking. And obviously, a lot of those guys also speak English, but that's a really good initiative. Maybe, hey, that's when you become GM, maybe that's something that you can.
Yeah. Peter Bendix, Eric Neander, Silverman, Sternberg. Let's get it done. I mean, at the very least, I would think that the manager, assistant coaches, on the field coordinators, they
definitely
should at least make some sort of effort, or at least be somewhat fluent, or can have a basic conversation. I think that would be important as well. But again, shout out to Randy for what he did. Didn't he have to wait 45 minutes?
Yeah.
At one point. I mean, that cannot be easy to do.
Well, you know what? Thinking about that, like, oh man, he's going to be cold. But then also Vladdy, he had to go back to back. Like, he finishes his semifinals, he wins it, and then he's like told, hey, in 10 minutes you going up again, like that. I thought I was going to be an advantage for Randy. It didn't turn out to be that way, but no, I think he put on a show, man. Honestly, like, to come that close, just one shot. He needed 6 to win, 5 to tie. Randy gets 4, and he just got under like a couple there at the end. Yeah. But I want to make this very clear. How is it in 2023 after having, I don't know how many home run derbies? Do we still not know that the shot from yesterday does not help? That doesn't do anything for you in the home run derby as a watcher. Like, I need to see where the ball goes.
Oh, yeah.
And it would be nice to have it in one shot. It's 2023. We have Michael Jackson holograms in concerts, and we can't have a decent shot of a home run derby. Like, how is this not a thing?
How about this? I'll email Stu Sternberg on the learning Spanish thing, and you can email Carl Ravage, Chris Berman, and Eduardo Perez on the.
See, that was fun. That was more fun. I thought I was annoyed by it. That's way more fun than what happened yesterday.
Yeah, it's amazing where in the moment you think it's annoying, and then it's like, okay, I kind of missed that. There's a little nostalgic aspect to it. By the way, I did some quick math here. So, and I could be wrong on a name or two, but I think generally speaking, this is correct. On the Rays, 12 of the 26 men on the active roster are Latin born.
It's about 50%.
That's a good, I think, decent enough barometer for you. And I know the Rays are very diverse as well, at least having a lot of players from a lot of different countries. Before we move on, I also want to say this. Something tells me that Randy's going to be in another home run derby or another home run derbies. Something tells me he wants to continue to compete until he wins the whole thing, and he just eats up this moment in an event like this. And hopefully, I've said this before, it encourages other big name rising players to want to participate and engage in an event like this. I know the money at stake certainly helps young players who are pre-arbitration, whatever it may be, but like, let's get Ellie De La Cruz in this thing. Let's get Corbin Carroll in this thing. Let's get the next wave in this thing. And let's get some big, more established names in this thing. Again, I think the league did a really good job with the roster on the whole, but it takes players like Randy who you can see on their face and by their body language that they're actually enjoying it and having fun and living it all up. And maybe some of it too is, again, Randy plays in a small market and he wants a taste of that big city lifestyle, if you will, that big city attention. So maybe if he played in New York or Boston or Chicago or LA, it might not mean as much. But now it's like, hey, here's my chance to really have a major platform. I think that's a really big thing for him too. So
yeah, no, certainly. We gotta really applaud him for never shying away from the big moment, and he certainly did not do that yesterday. So that's awesome.
All right, we have more to discuss, but first we have to tell you something extremely important. That is this: Game Time is the place for last-minute ticket deals. Forget planning months in advance. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. Get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and so much more. The Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. It is the fastest growing ticketing app in the country for a reason. Get images of your seat when you buy so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. Buy tickets in a matter of seconds, 2 taps, and you are completely set. And then what happens is this: tickets are sent directly to your phone, so you never have to dig through that email of yours. So snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB, LOCKEDON MLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Okay, Ulises, tonight we have the MLB All-Star Game for 2023, American League versus National League, and the Rays have 4 representatives in the game. One will be sidelined in Shane McClanahan, but we're expecting to see at least some action from the likes of Yandy Diaz, Randy Arozarena, and Wander Franco. What are you most looking forward to in this game tonight?
Well, first was the lineup construction. Yeah. How are they going to make this American League lineup? And wouldn't you know it, Yandy Diaz and Randy Arozarena are right there in the middle of the action. Randy Arozarena will bat 3rd after Shohei Ohtani, and Yandy Diaz is batting 5th, giving some protection to Corey Seager. That's as cool as you can get. Like, to know that your all-stars are in the middle of the order, I think that's pretty cool.
It shows that they're right up there with the elite of the elite. Not this, again, anytime you're starting an all-star game is a huge feat, and kudos and congratulations. But I would almost feel like a slap in the face if we looked at this American League order batting lineup and we saw number 8 in the order is Yandy Diaz. Number 9 in the order is Randy Arozarena. It'd be like, okay, come on, you got to help us out a little bit. But to be punched in there right in the heart of the order is really impressive. And here's the names just to go through it for people listening at home. You have Marcus Semien, Shohei Ohtani, Randy, Corey Seager, Yandy Diaz, Adolis Garcia, Austin Hayes, Josh Young, and Jonah Heim. Really, what's interesting, let me just say this. So I am in the Northeast right now. I'm outside of the Sunshine State, trying to get away from the love bugs and the humidity and all the issues that are occurring in the state of Florida. But what I will say is I was able to watch Adolis Garcia and Corey Seager in a game the other day against the Nationals. The Rangers actually got crushed in that game. So it is kind of deja vu for me a little bit. Actually, within a week's time, I saw the Rays and the Rangers play. So it's like that's like half the All-Star roster right there.
That's right. Yeah, it's impressive what these.
Oh, and Jonah Heim, I forgot batting number.
That's right. Yeah,
and Josh Jung. What am I doing here? I'm totally forgetting all the Rangers. This Rangers roster. Man, the Rangers really fell asleep when I went to the Nationals game on Sunday. But wow, I didn't realize that. I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 starters in the lineup. That is really
and they got their fandom to vote. It was an effective campaign. Look, I don't want to take away anything from any of these All-Stars, and I'm not doing that. I don't think I am. Maybe I am with the next thing I'm going to say, but tell me if you were just to pick names out of a hat from us growing up, the American League All-Star. Give me like 4 or 5 names that you could have seen year in, year out for the American League All-Star lineup. Just 4 or 5.
Growing up, Derek Jeter.
Okay.
Alex Rodriguez.
Sure.
Pudge Rodriguez.
Sure.
Oh my gosh. Let's see here. I was watching a lot more National League baseball back then.
Can I help you out?
King Griffey Jr.
Yeah. Jim Tomei.
Tomei. I mean, a lot of big names. I think I know where you're getting at. Where,
bro,
the luster's
all
a
of
little
those
bit
are
lost
all-star. Like all of those All-Star names are Hall of Fame worthy candidates.
Yeah.
Look at this American League lineup, and besides Shohei Ohtani, are there any other future Hall of Famers in there?
Some would say Randy Arozarena, but I do not know. Outside of Shohei Ohtani, I do not see another future Hall of Famer. I don't think Corey Seager is going to get there.
I see really good players. I see really
very good. You're going to have a lot of guys on this list when their career's over. They'll have a war between 30 to 45, 50, but they won't be that next level caliber.
And I could go Ichiro Suzuki was in plenty of All-Star lineup. Miguel Cabrera was in plenty.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not seeing
Roberto Alomar.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that caliber of player here. So I don't know if it's just, and again, All-Star lineups are in the moment, what's happening in that season, and that's really awesome. These guys are the best right now. The problem, I think, comes with all these guys, not with injuries, because injuries happen, but when they just choose not to play, I think that's an issue.
Mike Trout.
Exactly. Well, no, handmade bone. But he
didn't even attend the All-Star game.
He didn't attend the All-Star.
He's not even going to attend the thing.
Yeah. There's, and I get it. Mike Trout, you've been to so many that you're bored already. I get it, man. Must be difficult to be that good. But yeah, I looking at the lineup, I was just like, man, this is, I mean, any lineup from 01 to like 2012, 2013 would have beat the heck out of this All-Star lineup. So
are you saying that the National League actually has a chance this year, because it's been a long time since the NL has won an All-Star contest? 2012 was the last time when they won that game 8-0 at Kauffman Stadium, and Melky Cabrera, talk about a blast from the past. He was with the Giants and he was named MVP. So are you saying National League has the edge this year or this time around?
I'm saying when I look at the NL lineup and talk about Hall of Famers, Acuna, I could see that happening. Freddie Freeman, I can definitely see that happening. Mookie Betts, I can definitely see that happen. Nolan Arenado, I can definitely see that happening. I mean, it's you got Luis Arias, who's a batting champ in back-to-back years in back-to-back leagues. You've got Corbin Carroll, who's the next big thing.
You could have at least half of the National League starters be Hall of Famers.
Yeah, exactly. And so like that's the kind of level that you should be seeing in this kind of all-star game, is like Hall of Famers to be.
At least give credit to Garrett Cole for stepping up to the plate or stepping
Good for
up
him.
to the mound.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. Good for Garrett to do that. But yeah, I'm just a little bit underwhelmed, I guess, on the name, on the heavyweight name factor of the American League All-Star game.
Yeah.
But then again, it's in the moment, right? I'm just surprised that in the moment there are no Hall of Famers to be playing here. Are they all injured? Is Judge injured? Yeah. Is Trout injured? Yeah. But still, it just feels like it's a little bit empty in the American League side.
No, I agree with you. I think that's a really fair point. And maybe it's one of those things of you don't need Hall of Famers because you have the one Grando Hall of Famer in Shohei Ohtani who's going to have more combined WAR than probably the rest of the American League starters combined. That's a little bit of joking, of course. Yeah. But yeah, no, that's very fair. So we have more to discuss on the All-Star game, but Ulises, first we have to tell the audience about something extremely important.
Yes, and that this show is sponsored by BetterHelp. It's always helpful to learn about yourself, to learn about coping skills that can help you set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. And it also helps people around you to benefit from you going to therapy. So if you've thought about going to therapy, you have to try BetterHelp. It's entirely online. It's convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. I've talked about the app on your phone. That's the best way to do it. In my view, it's really easy. They have different little portals that you can work with, the module for the journal, to schedule. It's really, really helpful. And before you get started, you do a brief questionnaire that takes 5 to 10 minutes to fill out. They give you a therapist, and you can change that therapist at any time. So let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/lockedonmlb today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedonmlb.
All right. So are you on the record saying that the National League is going to win this thing tonight?
I think they have the edge. Okay. I think they have the edge, yeah.
That's fair. All right. One guy who won't be competing in the game for the Rays, but of course gets the nomination and the nod, Shane McClanahan. Now this is his second All-Star appearance. And I have a little question for you. We know Wander Franco. We've talked about how many All-Stars he could eventually get to his name. So let me ask you this in possibly a couple different ways. Will Wander Franco have more All-Star appearances than Shane McClanahan and Yandy Diaz combined? Yes or no? When the careers are all said and done.
Okay. I believe we've talked about David Price and Shane McClanahan comparisons before. Mm-hmm. And that David Price went to the All-Star game 3 times. He already has 2, Shane McClanahan. So I'm going to give him like...
And he's 26, I believe.
Yeah, let's give him 5 for Shane.
Okay, David Price is a 5-time All-Star.
Oh, 5-time. Oh, maybe 3 with the Rays. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, he had 3 with the Rays. No, he might have had 3 with the Rays technically, I guess. But 5 total regardless.
Okay, so then let me make some math. Let's do Shane McClanahan 5. Let's say Yandy gives you 2 All-Stars, so that's 7. Does Wander Franco give you 7? I said the other day, I think 6.
Okay.
So he's right. I think it's right there. It's like a 0.5 or up or down. And that's a good question.
I was just going to say that. If you said no, I would go a step further and say, would Wander have more combined or more All-Star appearances than Shane McClanahan and Randy Arozarena combined? My math is kind of on your end, where give Shane McClanahan maybe 5, 6, 7 All-Star appearances. Yandy Diaz 1. Randy, at this point, I don't know. With his star power now, he might be one of those guys to get 3, 4, 5 by the time it's all said and done. So you add up Randy and Shane's, and Wander damn well have to get, 10, 11 All-Star appearances. He'd have to turn into Ichiro Suzuki or something like that.
Yeah, and which we hope, right, that he does become that, but it's just very, very difficult. So I think I would put in the green Skittles on the bucket with two really good players than just one amazing player.
And just speaking about Shane McClanahan, I heard him on an interview recently, Rays Radio, and I guess it's been this way for some time now. Heck, when you make your MLB debut in the postseason and you're the first player in MLB to do that, or first pitcher in MLB to do that, just the maturity level that he has he's still a young player. He won't be arbitration eligible until 2024 and a free agent until 2028. But he really, when he speaks, he's got almost that Evan Longoria factor of you can go to him for a quote and a response that is full of thought and contemplation. Like, if he was a position player, Mark Topkin and others would be going to him every day. But it just seems like he's grown within a period of 2.5, 3 years to unprecedented levels. You've just had to grow up quickly just by the nature of the situation or situations that you've been thrown into. Because I remember when Shane was a rookie or very young in his Rays career, there were some little incidents, some heres and theres of, okay, you need to calm that down, buddy. You have some, okay, this is the Rays. You're going to get taken out of games earlier than you probably expect. Just learn from that. But he is really just, I guess my advice or what I like people to do is go listen to him and say, man, he's almost Zach Eflin-esque in his responses now, or Charlie Morton-esque in his responses. He sounds like a 33 to 35-year-old and not a 26 to 28-year-old. And maybe that gives me some hope and some wherewithal that the Rays may say, okay, this isn't, I mean, they gave Blake Snell a big money contract with his interesting personality. I'll just leave it like that. But Shane McClanahan is a guy that you could really not just build around, but know that you give this guy that type of money that he's not going to quit. He's going to continue to work hard and better himself and not let the fame and fortune go to his head, more or less.
Yeah. And you mentioned a couple of names that I think have helped him, get to that next level of maturity. He did brush shoulders with Charlie Morton. He did share clubhouses with Michael Wacha and Rich Hill, guys that have been there, done that. Last year with Corey Kluber, this year with Zach Eflin, and all throughout this Rays 2-3 years that he's been on the team, his position has been elevated more and more to the fact that he's the de facto number one for the last 2.5 years with this team. So the growth has definitely been there. I think the circumstances of him being elevated to that point in the rotation, plus the people that he has surrounded himself with, or rather the people that the front office has surrounded other players with, like Shane McClanahan, I think that definitely has helped the maturity level. And you're right. I think if he was a position player, Mark Topkin and company would be around his locker all the time like they used to with Longo.
Yeah. And again, not to just single out Shane McClanahan. I mean, we talked about Randy Arozarena in the first segment, but all the work that Randy Arozarena has finally put into, okay, I am going to accept and learn new data, statistics, information. I want to take it all in. It was actually his agent, Scott Boras, that encouraged him to, hey, maybe on occasion, look at what the opposition is throwing you in which particular counts and how they're attacking you. And maybe you'll elevate your plate discipline and on-base percentage, and ipso facto, you'll become an all-star.
It's like when you're in school and you think that you're really smart, so you don't have to study. You just have to go to the class. And for for a lot of classes, if you just pay attention in college, you take the exam, you're going to get an A. That's just how.
But when you're majoring, you do K through 12. Hey, it was a breeze. Then you get to college. I'm majoring in mechanical engineering. You might want to open up the book.
Open the books. Take good notes. Use the highlighter. Use different color pens. That's for sure.
And oh my gosh, look at that. I'm actually still getting A's. I actually can
Yeah.
do this thing here. So, so it should be fun to watch. I guess if you want to hit it in the comments, who do you think's going to win American League or National League, and who's going to be the MVP of the All-Star game? Hey, I wouldn't put it past Randy Arozarena or Wander Franco to get that nomination. Just saying.
Not at all.
So, all right. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you tomorrow.